Hello students, so today we will be learning a new chapter called Our Resources. So I'm pretty sure all of us have heard this word called resources, but let us just look into what does resources mean. And before that, do we have resources around us? Of course yes. Everywhere we step out, we have one or the other kind of resource. So today we will be learning about what is a resource and the types of resources. And by the end of this class, you will be able to easily identify a resource and classify them under the types or kinds of resource. So firstly, let's see what is a resource. Now, a resource is anything that satisfies our need and we can use them to satisfy our need, and something that has value. So the two words that you should remember to define the word resource is use and value. Any object that is around us that can be used to satisfy our need and which has value is called a resource. How can we take an example? Now, I am using this to write on the board, correct? So, is it satisfying my need? Yes. Why? I can write. My need is to write. And does it have a value? Yes. This has a price. So, now, is this a resource? Absolutely, yes. So, everything that is around us which can be used to satisfy our need and has a value is called a resource. Let's find out some resources. Okay, let's see if we can identify some resources. So give me a minute here. I hope you can see this picture, right? Okay, so let's look at this. I want to call this the surrounding. Now, what are the things that you see in this picture? Let me start. I see a tree. I see the grass, I see water, I see flowers, I see the sunlight here, and I'm pretty sure you are also able to see many other things here which let's not write as of now. Now, in the names that I have taken out, what did we say a resource is? It has to satisfy our need, that is, we should be able to use it and it should have a value. Okay, value can be of different types. It can be aesthetic value or economic value, which I will teach you later. But value is something that is important or something that is valuable or something that is needed. Okay. Right. So, first thing that we speak is sunlight. Now, do we use sunlight? Yes. Is there value for sunlight? Yes, because without sunlight we would not have light. Water, do we use water? Yes. Is there value for water? Absolutely yes. Tree? Do we use tree? Yes. We get fruits from trees. We get wood from tree. Yes. And do they have value? Yeah. And grass? Do we use grass? Think. Of course we do use grass. Why? For cattle to graze. And do they have value? Definitely. Flower? Again we use flower and they also have value. So, all of this is a resource. Now you have a tiny little homework before I move into the next topic. If you see in your textbook, there is a blue colored dotted box on top below the heading Our Resources. It says, look around and observe your surroundings. List out the names of at least 10 things that you can find in your immediate environment. Are they of any use to you? If yes, write against their name the purpose they serve. So I want you to walk out of your house after the class, okay? Go out and see what are the resources. Name at least 10 of them. And next to their names, please write how is it useful to you. Okay. Now, like I said, every resource has a value. Sometimes it's economic value, the other times it is aesthetic value. Now, for you to understand what this exactly means, let me show you something. We know what economy means, right? What does economy mean? Economy is something related to money. And we also know let me just put this up so we can start explaining. Okay, let's put this here for aesthetic and this here for economy. Now, you might have seen this or you might not have seen this. This picture is of Jog Falls in Karnataka, right? And this is a beach. When we speak about economic value, what we mean is, out of this resource, are we able to get any economy or can we make money? Okay. So, out of this picture, out of waterfalls, what can we do? Do you know because of waterfalls, electricity is generated? And by putting few pumps and few motors below where water falls, because of that speed in which the water falls, this technology or all the instruments that they use underneath run and then electricity is produced. Now, does electricity cost money? Yes. So, anything that costs money, anything that can be used to give us money has a economic value. So anything that from which we can earn money has a economic value. Flowers, have you seen people walking around selling flowers? So flower is also a economic valuable resource. Aesthetic. In aesthetic, there is no money involved. Aesthetic is where when a person goes out and just looks and admires the beauty of the resource is called as aesthetic value. For example, there are people who like to see the stars. So in the evening, they might just go out for a walk and look at the sky and admire the stars. So now, stars in sky has a aesthetic value. So resource can have two types of value. One is economic value, the other one is aesthetic value. So here, sunlight might not have economic value, but it can have aesthetic value. Or the water or the sea, a stagnant water, right? This is a sea. You cannot produce electricity out of this water. So economy is not produced, but there is aesthetic value to the water for the sea. So when we say it has to be in use and it has to have a value, value can be either be economic or aesthetic. Okay, I hope you understood this. So let's move on to the next one. Excuse me. Use of the resource. Now, any place has resource. Every part on earth has resource. However, the resource can only be used if there are three things that is found. So, the use of the resource depends on, firstly, if there is a use. For example, I might have green plants all around my place, but if I don't want to use them, it will only remain as green plants around me. It would not become my resource. So, the first thing to make use of a resource is use itself, or the need to use the resource. The second thing that we need to use the resource is knowledge. Now, if the green plant that is around me is good for cooking, I should have the knowledge on how to cook the green plants for my food. So, without knowledge, I cannot use the resource. If I have resource around me and if I don't know and if I do not have the knowledge on how to use the resource cannot be used. It also again becomes just a thing that is around me. It does not become my resource. Third thing is technology. If I have the resource and of course I want to use it, and I also know the knowledge on how to use it, but if I don't have the technology to use it, again the resource becomes a waste, or the resource is not being used, so it is not become a resource because it's not used. So I need the technology to use the resource. Again, going back to the same example, I have green plants. I know the knowledge on how to use the green plants, but if I do not have a stove to cook, if I do not have gas, if I do not have wood to make a stove to cook, then I cannot use the resource. So the important factors to make use of the resource depends on the use that I have, my need, the knowledge and the technology. So, giving you another example, in olden days, in the Arab countries, we all know they have a lot of petroleum underneath, okay, petroleum products. But the Arab people did not have the knowledge that this petroleum product can be used to derive can be used to derive petroleum products and could be sold. What are petroleum products? Like petrol, diesel, kerosene, etc. Now, the Arabs did not know that they could use that and sell and make money. But when they got to know, they invented the technology of bringing out the petroleum from beneath the earth, and they started using it and they started selling it. So in the olden days, the Arabs did not know, but now they know, so they are one of the richest countries. Okay, so again, the three things that we need, or we need to know to make our resources useful: we need to know the use of the resource, we need to know the knowledge to how to use the resource, and thirdly, we should have the technology that is needed to use the resource. Now, how can you identify if it is a resource or not. Let's say I have a tree and I need you to listen carefully so you understand. Now, is tree in itself a resource? Is it a resource? Well, what are the two things that we need? It has to be used and it has to have value. It has to provide for my need. Now, a tree standing in my garden, is that a resource? No. Why? Because if a tree is simply standing in the garden and if I do not have a need to use it and if it is not having a value, it does not become a resource. It only becomes a tree. Now, what exactly is a resource? A thing is not a resource, but the activity of making it used is a resource. So, let me give you a better example. When we speak about the tree itself, if I make use of the tree by eating its fruits, then eating the fruit is called the resource. Okay, so the function is the resource, not the material. Okay, so let me just write the word function. So, the function is the resource and not the material. Another example. I'll give you another example. So, okay, that is a cow. And what does cow do? Is cow a resource? Yes. Why? Because it gives us milk products. Okay. So, cow in itself is not my resource. Cow is an animal. But what is the resource? The products that I get from the cow, which can be made use of. The function of making use of this product is a resource. Now, taking milk from the cow to drink is a resource. Using, excuse me, taking milk from the cow to make use of it as butter, as cheese, as milk, people make cream. So, all that is a resource. Cow in itself is not a resource, but the function is the resource. So, it is very important to know that the term resource does not refer to the thing, it does not refer to the substance, but it refers to the function of that substance. Okay? Okay. Now, types of resources. There are mainly 3 types of resources. First one is natural. Second one is human. Third one is man-made. Now, before starting this, let's do a quick recap of what we studied till here. We studied what is our resource and we told every resource has a use and it has a value, and the value can either be economic or aesthetic, And then we said the use of the resource depends on the use, the knowledge and the technology. And then we differentiated resource from, we differentiated the object from the function, and the function is called resource and not the object. Okay, now let's move on to the main topic. Let's see what are the types of resource. Now listen to me carefully, this is very easy. There are three types of resources. One is natural, which is easily available in the nature. That's why it's called as natural. You walk out, you can see the sunlight, you can see the water, you can see the trees. We did not create them. It was already existing. Such kinds are called natural resources. Human resource. Humans, we ourselves are resources on this earth. Why? Because we keep the surroundings clean. Yeah, we take care of the animals, we take care of the trees, plants, etc. And we work. And when we work, we make money. So humans, we, you, me, we all are a resource. That's why we are called the human resource. So we are the second type of resource. The third type of resource is man-made resource. What does that mean? Everything that a man made, which has use and which has value, is a man-made resource. So can you give me an example of a man-made resource? The board that I am using now is a man-made resource. The fan, the tube lights in your house, the chair that you sit on, or the mat that you use, the bed that you sleep on, the door, the windows, house, everything is a man-made resource. So there are three types of resource. One is natural, that is naturally available. Human, that is us. Third one is man-made, because it is made by man. The next thing, under natural resources, there are two divisions. When we walk out, we saw here in this slide, let's see, all these which I have mentioned here are natural resources, correct? Did we make any of them? No. So, under natural resources, I said there are two kinds of resources. One is biotic, another one is abiotic. Okay, one is living, another one is non-living. Now let us look into the sunlight. Is it living or non-living? It's non-living. Okay, non-living. Water, non-living. Tree, it is living. Grass is living, flower is living. Now, every resource that has life is called as biotic. Okay, so let's go back to our slide. Biotic. Biotic. Bio is life. Everything has life. So every resource that has life is called as biotic, and every resource that does not have life is called as abiotic. A because absent, A, so life is absent, is called as abiotic. So examples for biotic from the natural resource. Okay, example for biotic from the natural resource is trees, then animals, humans. We are also natural resource, but we are a separate human entity, so all humans are biotic. However, we don't come under natural resource, and everything man-made is abiotic. Did we see here man-made and human? All of them are biotic. Humans are all living, and all of the man-made things are abiotic. They are non-living. So we do not have to take two types here, but there are two types in natural resource, that is biotic and abiotic, because there are both living and non-living in a natural resource. So abiotic, non-living can be soil, water, sunlight, etc. Now, based on renewability, resources can also be classified into two types. Now, what is renewability? Do we know new? New means something new. So, what is renew? Which can again be attained or can be renewed. So, based on renewability, there are two kinds. One is renewable resource and the other one is non-renewable resource. Very simple. So, every resources that can be renewed is called as renewable, and every resources that cannot be renewed is called as non-renewable. So, for this I will give you an example. Do you know what this is? Can you identify by the picture? Okay. Right. So, for a renewable resource, I told you everything can be renewed. What is this? This is a sun. Every day morning, sun comes back. No matter what happens, the sun comes back. And the sunlight that we get from the sun is our resource. So, sunlight is a renewable resource. It cannot be exhausted. Yeah, we cannot use sunlight so much that tomorrow the sunlight comes and says, I don't have sunlight anymore. Right? Every day sunlight comes back. Every day there is enough sunlight. So, that is one example for renewable resource. When it comes to non-renewable resource, this is a coal. We dig it from underneath the earth, and after some time, if we keep digging and keep taking out, the coal will not create on its own, right? The coal will get exhausted. One day, we will not have any more coal if we keep using it. So, non-renewable resources are resources which will get exhausted if we continuously use it without preserving. So, one example is coal. So, we understood based on renewability there are two types of resources, that is renewable and non-renewable. The next one, based on the stage of development, there are two kinds of resources, that is potential resource and actual resource. Now, we know what is potential. Potential is when it can be used, but it is yet not used. So, what is potential energy and kinetic energy? Do you remember? When the water is on the top, it is potential energy. But when it flows, it is kinetic energy. It's in action. In the same way, potential resource is a resource which can be used, but it is not yet used. So there are so many waterfalls in Africa which can be a potential resource to produce electricity if they do the mechanical work. But however, because it is not yet being used, it is only a potential resource. And an actual resource is a resource that we are using continuously. Okay, that is called an actual resource. And finally, for today, we will look into based on distribution. There are two types of resources based on distribution. Distribution is the area in which it is spread. One is ubiquitous and the second one is localized. Ubiquitous is when the resource is available for everyone, everywhere in the entire world. So it is universal. So that's why the word U and universal. So ubiquitous is the resource which is available in a universal format. Okay. Let's check. Universal format. Whereas localized resource is a resource which is only available in a local region. For example, river Indus. We studied that, right? In history, river Indus. Is river Indus available in America? No. Is river Indus available in Africa? No. Why? Because it is a localized resource of North India or India alone. So, when the resource is in a boundary of a certain area, it's called localized. And when the resource is universally available, it's called as ubiquitous. Okay, so that's it for today. Let's just do a quick recap on everything that we learned. First one, we studied what is resource. We said resource has use and resource has value. We said value can either be economic or it can be aesthetic. And to use the resource, there should be three things. That is, we should know the use, we should have the knowledge, and we should have the technology. And we found out resource means the function and not the object. And then we said there are three types of resource: natural, human, man-made. And natural resource can be classified into two parts, that is biotic and abiotic. Biotic is anything that has life and abiotic is absence of life. And then we studied based on renewability, there are two kinds. One is renewable, the other one is non-renewable. And based on development, there are two types: potential and actual. Potential which can be made used in the future, as if now it's not being used. Actual is being used right now. And finally, based on the distribution, we said there is ubiquitous and localized. This is universally available, but this is only available in the local region. So I hope this lesson is clear, and we will do the next part of the lesson later in our next class. So thank you.